What's going on, guys? It's Cimoooooooo. So today I wanted to bring to you a video discussing whether or not you should purchase the Legendary Dragon decks. We actually just had a complete spoiler for the Legendary Dragon decks, and so I wanted to go and break down what is contained within this set, kind of go over some of the numbers, and ultimately help you draw a conclusion as to whether or not this product is for you, because there's a lot to talk about with this set, so I want to go ahead and get right into it. Now, for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, every year or so, Konami's recently been releasing a deck set that's almost kind of like a little dual deck volume where we get 3 decks that are some sort of theme. We've gotten ones that are in the inspiration of Yugi and Kaiba and things like that, and essentially it's just pre-constructed decks that sometimes have some good promo cards contained within them as well that are typically brand new to the game, and really it's a good nostalgia set. But these sets have been notorious for containing cards that, as a brand new cards that get released are placed into this set, the value of those cards is very high because they're cards that a lot of people are chasing after. This is cards, say for instance, like Ties of the Brethren. Ties of the Brethren originated in a set like this and is a very powerful card. So not only does this set contain really good cards that have never been released before, but some of the reprints actually have a very high value as well, and that's what I want to go ahead and dig into. So the MSRP on the Legendary Dragon decks is $29.99 US, but what are you really getting for your money's worth? So like I said, there's 3 different decks, and you also get a cool little, I guess, box that helps contain them. But so for this Dragon deck set, you have 3 different decks. You have a Yugi deck that takes inspiration with Dragons of Legend, then you have, or Waking the Dragons, I should say, from the anime. You have a Zane Truesdale deck that has pretty much a Cyber Dragon theme to it, and then you also have a Yuya Pendulum deck. So let's go ahead and start with the Yami deck, because that's obviously, you know, the most notorious one. Now, when you look at all the cards contained within the Yami deck, one of the things that might stand out the most to you is a Apprentice Illusion Magician reprint. If you guys don't know, this card has only been printed as a Shonen Jump promo, very limited supply, and was demanding an outrageous price tag of around $70 to $80, and Dark Magician players really hated that because it's a good card in their deck, but they didn't want to fork out the money to be able to have that contained within their deck. But now it's getting a reprint, so right away, if you're looking at expected value in terms of the Legendary Dragon decks, currently Apprentice Illusion Magician is demanding a $38 to $40 price tag because of this reprint announcement, but right there, you're already technically getting your value's worth in terms of this box set just because of that reprint alone. Now, I know when the Legendary Dragon decks get released and there's more of these cards in circulation, the price of these cards is most likely to drop, but for the sake of this video, I wanted to use prices of the cards that are currently on the market so you guys have an idea of really the value that you're getting out of a set like this, even though they're more than likely to drop when the set is officially released. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there's a lot of good content contained within this set. Other cards include cards like Dark Magic Inheritance. Dark Magic Inheritance is sitting at a $6 to $7 card. I was released in one of the decks previously as well, so there's only one other copy of it available. Then you've got cards like Eye of Timaeus, another very good collector card, maybe not necessarily staple for Dark Magicians, but something that a lot of collectors like, another $6 to $7 card. Then you've got stuff like Dark Magic Circle and Magician's Navigation, which just received reprints in the Mega Tins, but they're still $4 to $5 cards that you're getting within this set. Then you have cards like Eternal Soul, Dark Renewal. These are cards that came out of one of these previous decks as well, or deck sets I should say, and these cards, because they've only had that one printing, are still demanding around a $4 to $5 price tag. Then there's also Dark Magician the Dragon Knight to wrap up the Yugi deck, and that's sitting at about $4 as well. So from a nostalgia factor, if you're a collector of the cards and you really have been sought after some of these certain collector items, this is a really good set for you because you have the opportunity to basically get everything all at once. And not to mention, in terms of the value that you're getting just from the first deck itself, if you look at all the cards here that I just listed, that's a pretty good price tag just for paying $30 at MSRP. Not to mention, you're also getting Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, which is one of the promo cards and brand new. That's going to have a very high price tag as well, just because of the fact this will be the only way that the card will have currently been printed at the time of making this video. Now, moving on to the second deck. deck, the Zane Cyber Dragon deck. This is the deck that contains the least amount of value of the 3 decks overall, but that doesn't mean it doesn't contain anything of value. So starting off, we've got cards like Cyber Dragon Dry, as well as Cyber Repair Plant. Even though these cards aren't necessarily competitively relevant by any means, they've only had one printing in the Cyber Dragon structure deck. Dry might have had his second printing, I don't recall for sure, but they still demand anywhere from a $2 to $4 price tag, so getting reprints for anyone who's looking to play Cyber Dragons or has an affinity for Cyber Dragons, that's a really good reprint for them. Then you also have stuff like Power Bond, Overload Fusion. These are cards that are still demanding $2 to $3 price tags even for common variants, just because of the fact that they're sought after in terms of that legacy and nostalgic sentimentality. Now, the big thing when we get to the Cyber Dragon deck, and this applies to competitive players as well, is that the Cyber Dragon deck has 1 copy each of Storming Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force, as well as Drowning Mirror Force. And the Yugi deck had the original Mirror Force, in case you were wondering. So you look at the value of each of these. Storming Mirror Force is currently sitting around $6 a copy. Quaking, I believe, is around $3, and I think Drowning is around $2 to $3. That's amazing, because these Mirror Forces have been expensive for a very long time. I know Drowning just got a reprint in the Mega Tin, but Storming, Quaking specifically have been, you know, on the more expensive end, more likely than not, just because they haven't had as many reprints, or a reprint of such a mass quantity, let's say like Drowning Mirror Force in the Mega Tin. So increasing the accessibility of that card, not only to the casual audience, but the competitive audience, is absolutely insane. And then you've got Cyber Dragon Nova, which you get 2 copies of, and that card's currently sitting at about $2 to $3, as well as a copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is still managing to sit at $7 a copy. So even though the Zane deck doesn't have the most value out of these 3 decks, I would say it probably has the most competitively relevant cards, and it also has a lot of extremely good reprints that a lot of players are going to be happy with. Now, finally, moving on to the Yuya Pendulum deck. This deck has a lot of really good value in it as well, but most of it pretty much stands within a couple cards that were jump promos, being Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon and Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. Phantom Dragon is about an $8 card, and Persona Dragon is still a $15 card, but now that it's going to be getting reprints, and you get 2 copies of each in one set, so you get 2 Phantom Dragons and 2 Persona Dragons just for buying 1 box set. That's an extremely good value for anyone who's looking to pick up those cards for their Pendulum decks. That now makes it much more easy to acquire. There's also cards like Performer Pal Skullcrobat Joker. You get 2 copies of this in there as well, and that card's still sitting at about $2 to $3 a copy, especially with the rise of Pendulum Magicians in the competitive meta. You also have cards like Spiral Flame Strike, which is a card out of a set that isn't exactly the best set, but it's pretty much, because it's only had that 1 copy, it's managed to still hold a $2 to $3 price tag. You get a couple copies of that in there as well, so that's really nice. But the biggest reprint that I think a lot of people outside of Apprentice Illusion Magician were looking for is Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance you actually get 2 copies of in this set, and it's currently demanding anywhere from $11 to $12 a copy. And the fact that you get 2 copies of it in this deck, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, on top of everything else I've already listed, the fact that Duelist Alliance is getting a reprint, especially with Pendulum Magician being a tier 1 contender, this is making Pendulum Magician almost to the point where it's a budget variant, aside from just a couple high-end cards, but that's absolutely phenomenal, and I can't believe just the sheer amount of value you're able to acquire just from this box set alone. There's also cards like Pot of Riches, which isn't a really relevant card, but it's still like a $2 to $3 card for some reason. You've also got Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon, as well as Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, that have alternate artworks, but currently still demand, I think, like $3 for Rebellion and anywhere from like $4 to $5 for the Clear Wing. So that's just amazing that there is so much value in this set overall. If you add up the value of every single card in this box set, it actually actually comes out to $256.72, and that's going off of TCG Player pricing of the lowest of every card, and obviously that's subject to change because a lot of cards fluctuate. Probably by the time I put this video up, that value is probably swung by a couple dollars, but if you think to yourself, you're paying $30 to get $250 worth of value at the time of this video being recorded, that's just fucking outrageous. And even if you just take every card that's worth $2 or more and get rid of all of the bulk, because there is a lot of bulk in this set, let's be honest, because a lot of the cards aren't really desirable, you're still looking at a value of over $200 of the cards that are contained within this set. And I honestly am just blown away by the sheer value that is in this set. Now, I want to wrap up this video by kind of discussing who is this product for. Now, for the competitive player, this isn't exactly something you need to be chasing after, but I've always preached that I really would love for Konami to kind of make a product that is a fair middle ground. You have a product that releases good and essentially just nice nostalgic cards or new cards for the casual market that might appeal to them, but also put in some really good cards that the competitive market might want to chase after as well, or that makes these cards much more readily available for the casual market that wants to play more competitively, but there was kind of that price barrier and made it more difficult for them to do so. And I think Legendary Dragon decks really hit the mark on this, because the fact that they're reprinting all of the Mirror Forces, the fact that Cyber Dragon Infinity gets a reprinted here, the fact that you're getting Duelist Alliance reprinted in here, these are some very good, competitively relevant cards that are in this set. And the fact that this box set is priced very well, and the fact that, you know, this is really a box set that everyone can get something out of. And I think it's a fantastic product overall, and it's definitely something you might want to pick up. Now again, if you're a competitive player, you might already have a lot of these cards, so it might not be too relevant to you, but let's say you're a casual player and you've been looking for an opportunity to pick up some more higher end cards like Duelist Alliance for your Pendulum Magician, or maybe you needed some Mirror Forces for your Paleozoic deck. This is the opportunity for you to get those cards because they're going to be cheaper than ever once Legendary Dragon Decks hits the market. I think this is a fantastic product overall, and if you're looking to buy something and get a lot of bang for your buck, Legendary Dragon Decks is definitely going to be something for you. So guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Legendary Dragon Decks as a whole. I think the set is absolutely fantastic. It really just embodies everything I think a product like this should. It appeals to both sides of the player base, and I think really no one's going to be ultimately disappointed with this set, especially when you have amazing reprints like this. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like the video as always. Subscribe to the channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content, and if you found this video informative, consider backing me on Patreon, because just by pledging only $1 a month, you're investing in my ability to continue bringing you amazing Yu-Gi-Oh content. So thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.